If you're brand new to Google Ads and you're looking for a straight to the point tutorial that's going to show you how to navigate the Google Ads dashboard, then this is the video for you. In this video, I'm going to show you everything you need to know about the Google Ads dashboard so that you can feel confident and not feel super overwhelmed when you log into your Google Ads. Now, for those of you who are still nostalgic and you still want the old Google Ads dashboard, or maybe you just don't want to change because it took you so long to learn it, don't worry, I'm going to show you how to access the old Google Ads dashboard as well in this video. So, to give you a basic outline of everything we'll be covering in this video, number one, I'm going to show you how to navigate between the sections in the Google Ads dashboard and really give you a good overview of how it works and how you can find useful information quickly. Number two, I'm going to show you all the hidden stuff, all the stuff Google doesn't want you to see that's going to help you see which keywords are actually bringing in sales, which keywords aren't, and where your money's being wasted. And last but not least, I'm going to show you the 3 sections in the Google Ads dashboard that are going to make your life super easy as a beginner and that you can use to check up on your ads. So, if you're excited as I am, let's get into the video. Now, if you're brand new here, hi there, welcome. My name is Devin Thomas, and what I do on this channel is I teach you how to understand Google Ads in a really simple, down-to-earth way. Because I know there's a lot of marketing experts out there, and when they talk, it's kind of like gibberish. So, if you're brand new to Google Ads and you want to learn the dashboard, but you also want a comprehensive strategy to go along with it, what I suggest you do is sign up for my Absolute Beginners workshop. That's my workshop that I have for absolute beginners. You don't have to know anything about Google Ads. You can be brand new, and I'll talk you through how the system works and also how to get the best results, especially when you're starting out and especially on a small budget. And what I'll do is I'll link that down in the description below. All right, so first of all, some of you might be looking at this Google Ads dashboard and you might be thinking to yourself, man, how am I ever going to learn all of this stuff? How am I ever going to understand what all these buttons mean and these graphs mean? And how am I going to understand all of this stuff? And you might feel a little bit overwhelmed and you might feel a little bit anxious. Now, I'm here to tell you that that's actually perfectly normal. Most of my Google Ads students feel exactly the same way when they start off, working in the Google Ads dashboard. The main thing I want you to keep in mind is that the more time you spend on the dashboard, the easier it's going to be for you. It's not going to come to you overnight. You're not going to know what all of the buttons mean. In fact, I've been doing this for the past 7 years and I don't even know what every single button in the Google Ads dashboard does. But one thing I want to tell you is that the more you spend time in the Google Ads dashboard, the better you feel and the better you will do. So don't feel like you have to know all of the stuff overnight. It's a slow and gentle progress, and I'm going to make sure that by the end of this video, you feel at least comfortable enough to start. So don't worry about it. It's perfectly normal to feel that way. All right, so the first piece of advice I'm going to give you is to use the search bar for everything. Now, as you can see, I'm logged into my Google Ads dashboard right now. And let's say, for example, I know the name of my last campaign, but I just can't seem to find it. All you need to do is click here on the search bar and you just start typing in. Like, for example, I'm going to type in 100 leads. And as you can see over here, there's my campaign. And all I need to do now is click on it and it shows my campaign. You can also find different reports. So, for example, I'm going to show you the locations report. All you need to do is type in locations. And if I go down here, you'll see it says campaigns, audience and keywords and content, locations. And when I do that, boom, there's the locations report and I can now see all of the locations that I'm targeting. Last but not least, if you want to find the keywords, because I know a lot of you spend a lot of time in the keywords report, all you need to do is type in keywords. And as you can see over here, we can go to search keywords and Google Ads will now show you all of your keywords. So guys, I want you to use that search bar on top for every single thing. If you can't think of where you last left it, if you can't find campaigns, whatever you need, use that search bar. All right, the next thing I want to do is I want to show you how to navigate this entire dashboard that I have in front of me right now. And yes, I know, like I said before, it feels super confusing, but once you understand where more or less everything is, it'll really grow on you. So the first thing I want to show you is on the far left-hand side, you get this tab over here. You'll see it says Create Campaigns, Goals, Tools, Billing, and Admin. I'm going to highlight it in yellow. Now, this campaign, not this campaign, but this tab is going to allow you to basically make system setting changes. So anything to do with your account that affects your whole account, that affects every single thing, you'll probably find it in here. So for example, if you want to change your credit card and you know your credit card is going to affect the whole ads campaign, you're going to find it in the far left-hand side tab. If you want to change your language, not sure why you'd want to change your language, but let's say you do want to change your language, you'd probably find it on the far left-hand side thing. Also, if you find that your leads are not tracking, if there's any problem with your conversion tracking, you'll probably find it on the far left-hand side tab because that's where your system settings are. The next thing we want to look at is this little column on the side of the system settings. And this one, I'm going to highlight it in purple, and this is basically your reports menu. Now, this is going to allow you to pull any report from any campaign that you currently have selected. So you're probably wondering, but how do I even see what campaign I have selected? If you look at these top tabs over here, it'll say 2 campaigns and select a campaign. That's how you know which campaigns you have selected. So for example, right now, you can see that I've got all my campaigns selected. And when I go into audiences, or rather, let me go into audiences, you can see now that it's taking all of my ads information from every single campaign that I'm running, and it's compiling it into one giant report over here. And you can really switch through reports in this tab. That's why I call it the report tab. And you can really go through the campaign and make sure that everything is operating just the way you want. Now, for the next tab, this is the one that's going to be right on top, and I'm going to color this in purple. We're going to call this the filters tab. So first thing I want you to notice is, yes, you can search for certain things like I showed you before in the video. And also, number 2, you can switch between the new design and the old design. So if you prefer the old design, all you need to do is click on appearance, click on use previous design, and you'll go back to the old design. Now there's another cool thing I want to show you. I'm going to select the overview tab over here. By the way, overview is so that you can get a big overview of what's happening in your account and you don't have to go into those small little reports. So as you can see over here, I've got all campaigns selected, and then I have these 2 tabs. Now, what if you just want to look at the campaign that you're currently running? How do you do that? How do you see stats for the campaign that you're just currently running? All you need to do is go into select a campaign, and you'll probably see something that says all campaigns, and you'll probably see something that shows every single campaign over here. And as you can see, we've been running a ton of campaigns over the years. But let's say you just want to see the one that you're using right now. All you really need to do is go to campaign status, look at the campaigns that are enabled, and it'll show you the 1 campaign or the 3 campaigns that you're running right now. You can also do this a different way. So for example, if you want to see all the display ads that you're running right now, you can go campaign status all, and we can go campaign type, and then we can select display and say apply. Now what it'll do is it'll show me all the display campaigns, but notice on the overview menu, it's also refreshed it, and it's showing you my stats for my display campaigns because now I've selected all of my display campaigns. The last thing I want to show you is the big menu, right? The big overview view. And I think this is what intimidates everybody. So when I come through here, I'm just going to say select, and I am going to take this filter off. So let's just go filters, and let's just close some of these filters out. I'm going to close that, going to close that. Get rid of, okay, add group status, all is fine. This is fine. All right, so as you can see over here, we've got this overview report, and we've got a ton of data to look at. So you're probably wondering, do I have to look at this every day? No, you definitely don't have to look at it every day. think about each and every single tab here as a little preview of what you'll get when you look at the report. So for example, if we look over here at campaigns, we see campaigns, but if we look over here, we'll see keywords. Now, this is just an abbreviated report. When I click on keywords, what it'll do is it'll go back to that full keywords report that I was telling you about earlier, and now you'll get to see every single thing about keywords, and you'll have all the stats available to you. So you can think about the overview report is just an abbreviation. It's like just a simplified version, a simplified report, so that you can look at it at a glance and see what's costing you the most money, what's converting the most. You can look at all of these in the overview tab. One last thing I want to show you, which is pretty cool, is the date range over here has got a lot of different functions. So for example, I'm looking at my campaign data right now for all time, but I can break this down and I can look at maybe my campaign in the last day, the last year, the last week. I can look at the data for last month. I can really play around with this. So check this out. If I click on last month, it'll show me last month's data. If I click on this button over here and I say, I want to see the last 180 days worth of data, it'll automatically select every single date for me, and I can just click on apply, and now I get my 180-day view, and it gets even cooler. If you click on the date range again, and you click on compare, what this will do is it'll compare your performance from this year or the last 180 days to the 180 days before that. So when I click on compare and click on apply, notice now it's going to tell me what these statistics did in the previous 180 days, and you'll get a little arrow over there that it's kind of interrupting with this big tab, but you'll get a little arrow over here, and the arrow will show you every single thing that's happening, all right? But that's a little bit advanced. I was just excited to show you that. So I'm just going to click on apply, and the last thing that I want to show you is these blocks. They're completely interchangeable. So let's say you don't care about how many clicks you got. You actually want to see how many leads and how many conversions you had. You can swap that out for conversions. And if I click on these blocks over here, notice I'll get this blue line, and I can kind of see the trend of my previous conversions. You can also swap this out and look at your cost per conversion. So maybe you're trying to figure out how much are your leads costing you. And you can see here that every single lead is costing me about $20. And if I extend this date range, notice how these metrics will also change over time. And now you can see that my leads are costing me $11. And you can just play around with this. You can select literally any report that you want to pull, and you can literally just see how much things cost you. And you can also get an idea of if your campaign is performing better this month or if it's performing worse this month. So to do that, all you really need to do is go to the last 30 days. When you do that, you'll get the simplified report. And then what you can do is you can compare it to the month before that, or you can compare it to 30 days before that, either with the date range checker or either over here, just like I showed you. And that's basically it, guys. You got 4 simple sections. So like I said, on this side, systems, the middle one, reports, this big one over here is your overview tab, and this top section over here is your filters. Now I know you probably have a lot more questions about the Google Ads dashboard. What I want you to do is write them down below in the comment section. And if I get enough good questions, what I'll do is I'll compile them together and I'll create an answer video for all of you guys. So make sure you ask me whatever you want, because look, it's a big dashboard. I could spend the next 3 hours covering just the dashboard, but I want to make sure that we're giving you the information that you need. So ask any questions you have down below. All right, so now that all of that is out of the way, let's talk about some fun stuff. Let's talk about how you can find some metrics in the dashboard that Google doesn't really want you to see. Now, I want to take you to a very special report. I am going to select my campaign over here. We're going to select the 100 leads campaign over here. And I am going to go to the search keywords reports, once again in that reports menu. And as you can see over here, I've got all my keywords lined up over here. And as you can see, I've got all of these columns. So Summer's telling me average CPC, my cost, my impressions, my average cost, my CTR, my absolute top impression share. And some of you are saying, hey, Devin, when I go into my keywords report, I don't see any of this. I just see 4 columns. Well, if that's you, my friend, what I want you to do is I want you to go over to this column section over here, and I want you to click on Modify Columns. And here's the super cool thing. Once you are in this section over here, you can pop this open, and each and every single one of these recommended tabs over here, performance tabs or viewability tabs, they give you the option to add more columns, therefore giving you more visibility. So let's say, for example, I wanted to see the conversion rate on my keywords, my conversions on keywords, my cost per conversion on keywords. For those of you who don't know what a conversion is, every time somebody submits a lead or does a sale on your website or some useful action, Google Ads measures that, and we call that a conversion. You can think about them like goals, hitting your business goal. It's a conversion. So I've got those recommended ones, and I'm also going to go into competitive metrics, and I'm going to select search impression share. Now, if you don't know what any of this stuff means, don't worry, you will learn it over time, but I just quickly want to show you where this will pop up. So if I scroll all the way to my right-hand side, notice it's populated my report with 4 more, I think even 5 more reports. So now I get to see what my conversion rate is. I get to see which keyword has brought me in the most conversions. So if I click on conversions over here, it'll sort it out and it'll show me which keyword is converting the most. I'll also see my cost per conversion for each keyword. And obviously, if you find keywords that don't convert, you can just come here and you can just say edit, and you can just pause that particular keyword. Last but not least, it's also showing me my search impression share. Now, this is a very important metric over here, and I'll go to it over here, your search impression share. Search impression share is basically how many of the overall searches that are done for that particular keyword, how many do you show up for? So it's important that you're always aiming for a search impression share that is super high so that you can dominate your market. And you can see all of those stats now just by going and accessing them in the columns report. Also, if you don't like the order of the columns, like let's say, for example, I wanted to see my cost somewhere over here, you can just click on columns, modify columns, go and find cost. You see I've got cost over here, and I'm going to drag it all the way down, Come on, little column. Come on, little column. Come on, you can do it. Okay, hold on. Let's try this again. We've got it over here. Let's drag it some more. Going. There we go. Something's happening over here. Don't know why it's so slow today, but anyway. There we go. So cost, and I want to see my cost last of all. Can we swap it out with clicks? I'm pretty sure we can. Let me just do that. Clicks has been permanently added. Yes. And I'm going to say apply. So once I do that, now notice my end column is cost, and the one before that is clicks. And that's how you can rearrange your columns and make sure that you are watching Google Ads very carefully and seeing how they're spending your money. Let's move on to the next tip. So there's a couple of things I want to show you before I let you go. These are the things that are going to make your life much easier as somebody running Google Ads. The first thing I want to show you is where to find your campaign settings. Now, Google Ads has always been trying to hide this away because it's where we have the most control of our budget. So it used to be in the systems menu. The one like I showed you, actually it used to be in the reports menu, the middle one, but they changed it around in the hopes that you don't find it. So where you're going to find your campaign settings now is in this odd little spot. If you go to overview, you look on your right-hand side, just underneath the filters, and you'll see something that says campaign settings. When you click on it, you open it, and what will happen is it'll populate this with all of your campaign settings. And this is where you can opt out of certain networks that are costing money, opt out of certain bidding strategies that are costing you money. If you don't know what those are, ask in the comment section below and I'll answer that for you. And also what I want to show you is you can go and you can see your keywords report. So all you have to do is come here and see your keywords report. But the keywords report isn't the most important one. It's actually the search terms report. So if I click on here and I go to audience and insights, Let's see, audience. There we go. Insights and reports. That's what it's called. And I'm going to go to the search terms report. Now, I'm in the search terms report. Now, some of you might be wondering, hey, Devin, what's the difference? Keywords, search terms, aren't people searching for my keywords? Isn't that why I show up? Well, Google Ads can be very weird. Doesn't always work like that. That's why we need the search terms report. So, for example, one of my keywords is Google Ads course, as you guys know. But as you can see over here, I'm showing up mostly for people searching for Skillshop, for Google Skillshop, for Google Garage, for Google Exceed, and I'm not showing up for Google Ads course. So that could mean there's either a problem with my keywords, or if this traffic is still converting, if I still see conversions there, then that means I've just discovered a new keyword that I should be bidding on. So make sure that you monitor your search terms report once a month, if not every single week, because it's probably the place where you're going to lose the most money. So, for example, we had a lawyer who does motorcycle accidents, but we noticed that he was showing up on reports that said 18-wheeler accidents and DWI trucker accidents. So that's where a large portion of his budget was being wasted. So make sure you keep on monitoring these terms to make sure that you're showing up for the right types of searches. The last thing that we want to look at is your demographics report. So I'm going to go down to audiences over here. And when you scroll all the way down here, you'll now see which demographics are converting on your ads. Very important. So for example, as you can see here, I've got 35 to 44-year-olds converting the most on my ad. I've got 36 conversions from them. You can also see which one of them has the highest conversion rate. So if I swap this out for conversion rate, now it's a different story. I can see that 65-plus-year-olds convert much more on my ads than 35-year-olds. And you can do a whole bunch of cool stuff. I'm just going to leave this on conversions. And maybe graphs aren't your thing and you want to just see a table of results. You can also do that. Just click on Show Table. And what it's going to do is it'll give you all of this data over here. And you get to see side by side which demographic is converting better. And you can do this with locations. You can do this with pretty much everything in the Google Ads dashboard. All right, so you know basically your way around the Google Ads dashboard. All you really need to do now is just practice every day, and pretty soon you'll get a hang of it. But what do you do once you know the Google Ads dashboard and once you get a campaign up and running? What do you do then? That's exactly why I invented the Absolute Beginners Workshop, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you not only how Google Ads works, what type of campaigns you should run, what type of campaigns you should stay away from, but I'm also going to give you a strategy that's going to work for you in terms of generating sales, generating leads, and helping your business grow with ads, which is why you really want to run Google Ads in the first place. So if that's something you're interested in, what I want you to do is click on the link below. You'll get free access to my workshop for absolute beginners. And in this workshop, not only am I going to give you so much info, I'm going to share with you everything that you need to know as a beginner. I'm also going to share a couple of resources that you can use as well. So if you're excited about that, make sure you click on the link below. Lastly, I just want to thank you so much for watching this video all the way through. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, share with a friend. And if you're looking for the next video to watch, check out this video here where I design a 52-week Google Ads learning plan. I think you'll enjoy that one. Peace.